a huge role in our supply chain planning. Peaks are getting taller. Capacity is getting strained with the delivery carriers, especially around the holiday season. Consumer demand is blowing us away in the peak periods, especially online and digital delivery. And at the same time, they're expecting a tremendous amount more experiences from the stores themselves. And so we're really starting customer back to say, well, what does our customer want? How does this work? How do we plan for that? And then how do we execute it? So first and foremost, we're trying to figure out what the customer wants and what they need. And also, how do you segment it by generation? Because millennials might want something completely different than a baby boomer or a Gen X person as well. So we do different service levels by banner, different expectations by banner. So, Saks will be different slightly than Lord & Taylor. Gilt.com might have a different need as well. Customers in Amsterdam have an expectation if they order stuff online after 6 p.m. it can still get there the next morning. So we treat that differently as well. So we definitely segment by banner, which is then segmented by customer population and their needs. So let me tell you what keeps me up at night is capacity planning, especially in the peak seasons now. The peaks are just getting so much taller with the e-com fulfillment, the digital channel. If you figure if you're growing at 15% a year every 5 years, you have to double the size of your distribution centers. If you're growing at 25% a year, you have to double the size of your distribution centers every 3 years. So we invest in a huge new distribution center in Pennsylvania. We put a lot of automation into it. 3 years later, we have to build a completely new one to keep up with the customer demand. So that's a little daunting. It definitely keeps me up at night. I think one of the biggest ones we've experienced is around storage and automation. So a K shuttle takes product and stores it vertically. Historically, we've used a lot of the Kiva solution, which is one level based pick and retrieve. But with the growth of e-com as fast as it is, we've realized we've got to have a lot more vertical storage. And so we've built a K shuttle that are typically 6 levels high. So you're getting 6 times the storage impact of Kiva, which is what Amazon is using. So we're definitely getting a lot more storage density than they are. And then the time for associates to be able to pick, the product comes to them in a tote. They can pick it very quickly, typically about 300 picks per hour or more, all the way up to 400 in some cases, where Kiva was around 225. So we're getting a 50% lift of productivity as well as a 5 to 7 times density of storage. So that's probably the biggest technology we've been experimenting with lately. Talking about capacity, talking about the thing that keeps me up at night, and just trying to share with other retailers and other suppliers of how do we solve this within the industry, how do we forecast customer trends better, how do we work with our shipping partners like FedEx and UPS and DHL so they can plan better for the shipments, especially from different origins, and then how do you plan capacity in the distribution centers to handle this? I mean, the worst thing is you don't want to have a service interruption during a peak period like that. So it's kind of the Super Bowl for us. It's game time, and we want to have a really great peak season.